So welcome Vanida to the video interview with Channel Times. So how have you been?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
First of all, congrats. You're getting married to Peter Paul on June 27. So
Thank
how
you.
excited are you?
It's kind of like a mixed emotions in the Solano
Okay.
because it's something that I didn't plan too much or think about too much. இது நான் எதிர்பாராம நடந்த ஒரு விஷயம் தான் accidental. So it's kind of lot of things. My mother is not there. Am I doing the right thing? Is it the right moment? இதெல்லாம் plus kids. But I think my main support system and my excitement எனக்கு கொடுக்கக்கூடிய இருக்கிறவங்க வந்து it's my children. I think I wish they were there 20 years ago with me தான் எனக்கு sometimes தோணும். Things would have been so much more beautiful. Things would have been so much more smoother and better அப்படின்ற அளவுக்கு they don't make me miss my parents. They make me feel that I miss them 20 years ago. So அந்த அளவுக்கு more than parents, more than siblings, more than anything in this world, my children are such wonderful children. I'm very blessed to have them and they make me feel excited every day and make me look forward to the next new day. Yeah.
So I came across this wonderful post, written by your daughter. So was it a surprise for you? Or, what were your feelings after you read it?
Absolutely, because she's going through the adolescent stage now. She's 15 this year, and so she's doing her work in her room. She's studying, she's writing a lot. நிறைய வந்து வாட்சிங் ஃபிலிம்ஸ், அதர் லாங்குவேஜ் ஃபிலிம்ஸ், ஸ்கிரிப்ட் எழுதுறா. ஸோ நிறைய விஷயங்கள் புக்ஸ் வந்து ஆன்லைன்லயே படிக்கிறா. இதெல்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கும்போது when she suddenly comes up with something like this, she didn't tell me நான் அப்படி எழுதியிருக்கேன். It's just popping up in my Instagram or something. It's very shocking for me, and I'm like sitting in tears and I'm replying back to நான் திரும்பி அவங்களுக்கு அங்கிருந்தே ரிப்ளை பண்ணும்போது ஒரு வீட்லயே உட்கார்ந்து ரெண்டு பேர் வந்து it's happening nowadays. நம்ம however close the family is, since technology is so high and everybody is using it, especially during the lockdown period, we're all working from home or doing something online. The only companionship and work mode is coming only online facilities இருக்கிறனால தான். ஸோ அந்த ஒரு விஷயம் போகும்போது அவ ஏதோ படிச்சிட்டு இருக்கா. பட் நடுவில் she's responding personally to me on that too, on a social media platform. It gives me so much of, I'm just telling you, my mother or my father or my brother or my sister would have never done this for me. They never did it for me. I wish they did. Protecting someone you unconditionally love, not within four doors only. It is also on a public platform or in a public place where they really need your help and your support. So somewhere it may, I don't know how it looks for someone who is like, enna, maybe there will be a comment which she gets irritated when she reads some comments which doesn't make sense, like, oh, நீங்க வீட்டுக்குள்ளே இருந்துட்டு நீங்க அங்கே விஷ் பண்ணலாமே. It doesn't make sense. I mean, you do public display of affection, and that is something that people want in their lives. And எனக்கு வந்து public display of affection வந்து என் லைஃப்ல எனக்கு இருந்ததே இல்ல, to be very honest. That is something that probably I do crave for inside. It has never been there from anybody. So when my own children, especially in today's world, there is so much of evil out there, so much of negativity out there, so much of competition, jealousy, எல்லாமே இருக்கு ஜாஸ்தி இருக்கிற ஒரு சூழ்நிலையில, when my daughter, my own child, is standing like one Bahubali, that's how I think of her when I think of her, because that's her character. She just protects me. She takes responsibility towards me like as if that is her job and she says it is her duty. And more than me trying to nurture her, which was for the past 15 years, I did my best as a mother. But now she's saying it is my job, my duty to take it forward. You sit down and relax. I'm there to do things for you. That really makes me feel so blessed. And there's no words. I think this happiness of having so many people showing affection in every way around me right now is a phase of my life I least expected. And I'm really enjoying every second and every moment, professionally, personally and emotionally. It's beautiful. I'm blessed. Avladhan na solla mudiyum. Touch wood.
So you're getting married on your parents' wedding anniversary, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So was it pre-planned or how was it? Or is it a coincidence?
No. Actually, I didn't even realize. I forgot because 7 வருஷம் ஆச்சு அவங்க ரெண்டு பேரும் கல்யாணம் ஆகி ஐ மீன் வெட்டிங் anniversary நாங்க கொண்டாடி 7 வருஷம் ஆகுது. So happened when this topic came up and he proposed and I told him in the madri. I was very emotional and awestruck. But I said the only thing that came up to my mind was the children. And when he spoke to them, they were very excited, and they were the two characters who sat with me and convinced me, saying this is the right decision to make at this time, and how they are going to support me in this, and how we can work it out, and what are the pros and what are the cons. And in fact, they were like going up to an extent where they're like a psychiatrist, literally. Yeah, I mean, like counselor will say this. I don't know how my daughters know. I think children are very smart nowadays. Pros and cons. So you write all the positive, you put all the negative. Then you know exactly, where you stand. And then I'm trying to think of the negative, except probably something from my end. And they are like, what is your problem? Are you crazy, woman? That kind of reaction. The little one especially, she speaks like, or just out of an English film. She has all these dramatic expressions which nobody has seen. She's kind of shy. So அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு situation இருக்கும்போது இதெல்லாம் okay. Then I took a few moments to talk to my mom, which I generally usually do after Amma's death. Though she's not there, I know she's with me, and I have always felt her presence, and I've always seen her guidance, her blessings in the past 7 years. So அப்படி இருக்கும்போது somewhere I felt, I was just talking to her in general and saying, Amma, show me a sign. Sometimes you just want God to come up and say, do this kind of thing. Like that, Amma is somebody who I can reach out to. Sometimes I said, just do something to show me, because if you were here, you wouldn't know what is right. But now that you're not here, maybe you know better. So just tell me something. But nothing happened. It took 5 minutes, nothing, no sound, no nothing. One flicker of light. Because actually, to be honest with you, I don't know how many people believe, but in my experience, I have had amazing miracles happen. And Amma has always shown a flicker of light. Something will happen that, it will give me a positive sign. And it is, I go with that. So that nothing happened. So probably I was like, I said, you're useless, mummy. When I need you, you're not showing me. This is the most important decision I'm making. And you're not here right now. And then I just got up and I picked up my phone and I'm just looking at something. I just, just put the password. Then I don't know how it just appeared. There's a date, June 27th, that's appearing in front of me, which I never went into a calendar or anything. But it just appeared. And then the second I saw the date, I just started crying emotionally. And then he was there. Paul was there and he saw me and he was like, what happened? What happened? I said, no, we're getting married on June 27th. That was my words. And he was very happy, but he said, that's a nice, good thing. Why are you crying for that? And I said, no, the date is so significant because, this is how it happened. I was talking to Amma and I wanted a sign. And it so happens that Amma's wedding anniversary is June 27th. Which actually, I think a flicker of light or a sound would have never given me a date in specific. So that was something that I didn't know it was June, because we're all under lockdown, 4 and all now started 5. So we're not thinking about the date or the time, except 2020. Persa edume nyabam illa. So it was very shocking and surprising, and it felt very happy. I felt very happy. I knew, I kind of felt, I always felt that my father was a very good husband. He was a very solid husband. Like, they had their ups and downs, but he was always there. He was there. He never left her. So that is something very rare in a man. And so it all came together. Yeah.
So could you please tell us in brief on, how you met Peter, and so when did you decide to start a new life together?
I met him in the month of December for a project he's doing. He's basically a visual effects director. So he does all these animation, visual effects, CG, digital intermediate, color correction, kind of DI, they say. So all these kind of post-production works for many films he has done. He's got very good experience. He's done very big projects, which you all have seen. already. So he has worked in Hollywood, Bollywood, and here and Bollywood, everywhere, all languages. So he, with his profile, I got an through my manager, there was an offer for a film that he's debuting as a director. So when I got that offer, I went through his profile. It was very impressive. So I said, okay, I will meet him to hear the script. So when I met him in his office, he has his own production house also. So he has his own production house and a studio, post production studio. So ange two different places. So I met him in his office, and when I met him and I listened to the story, I was talking about the character and I just said hello, hi, and very professional meeting. அதுக்கப்புறம் New Year there was a wish, and Pongal there was a wish. அவ்வளவுதான், ஒரு 2-3 messages, and costumes பத்தி பேசணும், அடுத்து sitting எப்போ உட்காரலாம், இவ்வளவுதான். When is the shoot starting? So at that point there was slightly the project was becoming bigger. So there were multilingual actors getting into the projects. He was sending me a lot of design work and all that. My character design எல்லாமே அமிச்சிட்டு இருந்தாரு. ஒரு 5-6 messages hardly. So நான் யூடியூப் சேனல் ஆரம்பிச்சுட்டு I was focusing on that. So YouTube channel ஆரம்பிச்சுட்டு 2 episodes and all was on air. It was doing, I got 150,000 subscribers even before I think 1-2 episodes came on air. So it was a huge responsibility on my shoulders, and I felt, oh my God, what up? I mean, I didn't understand the reality that it is a lot of work. I didn't know it was going to be so much, so tedious. And it so happened this lockdown was announced, and I was stuck without any staff. And I had my technical support team is Trend Loud. They are a very full-fledged team, but unfortunately they couldn't help me because of the lockdown. Everybody was stuck in different places, so we were going through a lot of technical hassles, and nobody was able to travel. So that time it so happened he sent me a message congratulating me regarding the channel, where I was so frustrated at that point, and I said, yeah, thank you very much, but what do I do now? I'm going to shut down my channel. And he was like, why, what happened? And then I told him, then he said, don't worry, it's okay. I live quite close by. Actually, he lives within 2 kilometers radius. When he walked in and he gave me so much of confidence. See, I've seen a lot of people in the industry. To be very honest, very rarely you can trust people in the industry. They speak a lot, they give commitments, but hardly people keep it up, especially when money is not involved, too much big money, and when they just try to impress you. And another thing is, ego is a very big problem in the industry. So there will be ego clashes when you work with somebody and all that. I have studied a lot in everything, so I tend to know more, which is definitely a problem to work with me also. So once he started working with me, he was actually one step above me, faster than me, more precise than me. I never had to ask a second question, which was very rare. I haven't met someone I worked with in the recent past like that. And he was so energetic, and everything. Professionally speaking, I think I fell in love professionally, which is very, very, very rare, because you get impressed personally is a different thing. But unless a person understands what I'm talking about, some women like me, I love it when a man is very, very professionally sound and very talented and very aggressive in his work and energetic in his work and dedicated in his work. And I felt so loved and taken care of, and I just didn't have to worry about anything. My life became totally different, which wasn't there earlier. So it's a very, very thought about. I have analyzed a lot of things, and considered a lot of things, and definitely it's not an emotional sudden spur of the moment whirlwind romance decision. அது மாதிரி கிடையாது. It's a very sensible decision. And to be very honest, I did hardly realized it during Big Boss, especially after Big Boss. I still remember Kamal sir's words that he said life after this will be very different. Gameங்கிற வேர்டை வந்து நீங்க லைஃப்ல வந்து லைஃப்ங்கிறத வச்சு you will replace அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. And the second time around when I was in Big Boss, there were a few times when Kamal sir did mention that, Vanitha, now you're seeing life, you're seeing the other person through a frame. You're not seeing them as you see them directly. You're seeing them through a frame. So that is giving you a different perspective of them. Abdina. It is very true. I think Big Boss has really, really helped me to learn a lot about people, a lot about emotions and everything, So the second time around, I learned a lot, and that is really helping me in my life in a lot of ways. I'm able to think from others' shoes. I'm thinking from a more mature perspective. So yeah, I mean, it's something that I didn't imagine that will happen at this stage of life. I wasn't looking for it, but when it happened, and when it so happened that I got a good opportunity, the right person, and I knew that I was also in love with the person. The person is definitely very much in love with me, and my children are there to support me. I'm very happy and happily saying that yes, I have made a decision that is going to stick for life, no matter what. Uh, it's a very, very matured stage of my life. I know I need it, and I know I can handle it. Yes.
So see, regularly, you know how it is, right? I mean, in society, people who want to get married again, the kind of, moral policing or trolls they are subjected to, especially women. So how do you look at that? I mean, there are people who want to, get married for the second time, but, they may not get support from, even from their family members. So how do you look at that? I mean, is there something which you have to say to, to such people?
Definitely. To be very honest, forgetting the marriage point of view, the remarriage point of view, even to get out of a toxic relationship is a problem. Exactly 13 or 14 years ago, uh, actually more than that, actually 2000 I first got married. I was 18 years old, just turned 19 to be honest, and I had a child within a year. And I haven't spoken about it much because I don't want to offend anybody, even my kids. But sometimes people don't realize, looking from outside, why do two people get divorced? Basically, they will have 101 problems to take a decision called divorce, which is not something that you want to do when you get married. Nobody imagines that, and especially after a child, it is definitely complicated. So I knew exactly what I was doing at that time. Even though I did have a 2-year-old son, 2002 was the time I suddenly woke up, actually after 2 years, not many years, 2 years of my marriage, because it was a very, very to be very honest, a violent marriage. I did not, I was not able to physically go through it. I'm opening up about it now after so many years to you, because it's a high time that I spoke about it, though it's embarrassing, though it is not the right thing to do, probably to put someone down. But at the same time, it's also wrong to judge someone and their choice of getting a divorce without knowing what exactly happened in their life. So at that point, that was the only solution, because I couldn't come out of it otherwise, and my family didn't support me. They kept pushing me back into the marriage. And I, in fact, it from 2002 to 2007, I think I got divorced. So 5 years I have tried getting back into the same marriage at least 1 million times. So I'll be there for a month, I'll come back for 2 months. I'll go back there for a month to my husband, I'll come back for 2 months. This was like a yo yo, because how much can one tolerate physically? Emotionally, also, is a second question. Physically is something that we cannot tolerate after a point. But my parents were so old school, so whatever you call it, traditional and culture, or whatever words you want to put it. But in our tradition and culture, there is nowhere it says that a woman should be beaten up and still take it. But so-called society, according to my parents, was so important that they didn't care about the physical well-being of me. They went to the length of letting me go through something which is not the right thing to do. I wouldn't do that to my child. However difficult the situation is, she doesn't need any man in her life who is going to do that to her. But I was so young that I was so vulnerable. I did not know. I was not bold enough or brave enough. It took me almost 7 years to actually say, no, enough is enough. I care a hoot whether you want me to be my family or not, whether you're going to support me or not. I will take care of myself. I do not want to be in this relationship anymore. By that time, I had a second child. So it was another child on my hands. But still, I had to take a decision because I couldn't go through it anymore. So that shouldn't happen to anybody. So I really think that families have to be more supportive, and the society should not be the reason for someone to commit suicide or kill themselves or hurt themselves or get emotionally ill, mentally ill, because they're going through some kind of even mental torture, which is also possible, which has happened to me in my life. I have been cheated. I have been I have made to I was made to believe the man wasn't married, didn't have children, nothing, and he was single for almost 2 years. And when I came to know, it was heartbreaking. But if you come out of that marriage, or situation forced you to come out of it, for example, again the people will talk wrongly about that also. There are social taboos all around you. So religion is a problem, caste is a problem, color is a problem, language is a problem. So everything is a problem. So if you're going to keep talking about problems, I think we're not going to get any solutions. So if someone is man enough, or someone is open enough to, for example, even take me personally, I'll go with my situation. If there is a man who has the guts and balls to come and say, yes, I know I'm going to be number 3 according to people counting your past, but I am the number 1 right now. There is no 1 2 in my life. It was my past. Why are you talking about something that happened once upon a time? Why you even bothered about it? I'm not bothered. He has the guts to say, I'm going to be labeled. It's fine. I don't care. I love you. I want to live with you. And I know that I can change it. And I know I can show the world that you are actually a wonderful, adorable person. Everybody knows you're a good mother, but hardly does anybody know you are a very tolerant and patient wife. You are actually a giving person. You're a affectionate person. You're a good cook. You're a good homemaker. So why can't one man appreciate that and actually tell the world that? Why won't you give me the opportunity to clear the airs there? So someone who is, if you do find someone who you can work with, live with, and you feel safe and you feel like a friend, I think you should support the person like everyone is doing to me. And I wish this. I'm doing this boldly. I'm openly doing it so that let me be let me be scrutinized for whatever reason. I care a damn. I have very strong children. Talking about their futures, many people are concerned, saying you have girl children, they have to get married tomorrow. My children only told me one thing when they read these comments, especially they're like, we live in bloody 2020. Who's thinking of getting married to someone who is so narrow minded? First of all, I don't want a husband to ask me, why did your mother get married twice or thrice? He should know who I am, respect me for who I am, and not because who my mother is. Definitely not that. And I don't want that kind of a marriage or that kind of a family. None of the children do. None of the future generations do. First, sanitize your heart. That's all I can say. Cleanse your heart with the same sanitizer and soap. Take away the dirt and the dust which is settled there, and have an open mind. Accept people the way they are, irrespective of their choices, and support them through their mistakes as well.
Now this, the current lockdown, which started from June 19th. So that was a sudden lockdown, right? So did that spoil your wedding plans in some ways?
Yeah, I mean, it so happened that we weren't really sure about a lockdown 5.
Yeah.
So probably, it just so happened, as I told you, the date was an accident. So as soon as we fixed the date, and it just came out in the media, I didn't plan it. It somehow came out as an invite. So then I went ahead with the decision, but we didn't plan this lockdown wedding. Uh, you know, we need only a few people to actually make it a ceremony, but otherwise it's a very close thing, because it is not about I don't believe, after all what I've seen in my life especially, I don't believe in lavish weddings anymore. But அதை தாண்டின ஒரு விஷயம், செலவு பண்ணாம பண்ணுங்க. ஏன்னா அந்த பணம் நமக்கு இருந்ததுன்னா, we have the money, that we spend lavishly on weddings, you can live your rest of your life. That's how much of money they spend on weddings nowadays.
And so when can we see a few projects, of which you were a part of?
Projects are all under what do you say, pre-production and midway production. Because of the lockdown, everybody is sitting at home. Lucky for me, I started the channel in the right time, so work is going on with the channel as of now. And his work is also going on in post production. He's doing quite a few big projects right now, which I can't mention really. But he has this studio, Kalasa Digital Studio. He and his partner. It's a very big studio. Very what do you say? It has a credibility. He's got his own people he's been working with for a long time. So all that is happening. My films should take off once the shooting resumes and films are ready to take off. But otherwise, TV is happening very soon. I think after lockdown 5, TV should resume. I am accepting of one mega TV project which will come very soon on air also. So you will be on TV. People can see me as an actor, because as of now reality is more. Acting hasn't started as yet. So hopefully we are also doing some web related work together, Paul and I. We are producing and directing some web projects which should come in OTTs very soon. So yeah, a lot of work related things are happening. Hopefully it should all fall in place.
Okay, Vanita, thank you so much for joining us, and once again, congrats. Wish you a great
Thank you.
live, and looking forward to your upcoming films and other
Thank
web series. Thank you.
I love talking to you, and thanks for the
Same here.
opportunity
Sure.
that you gave me to express to the viewers you will reach, because this is something that I have had in my mind. I have not spoken about a few things that I've shared with you today.
Okay, Vanita, thank you so much, and all the best.
Thank you so much. Bye.